Hi, my name is Marsha,
Hi, my name's Max.
and we're doing the Tundra Biome.
Our biome is the tundra. The tundra has two separate territories that are interconnected. One is the Arctic and the other is the Alpine.
The tundra can be found in the North Pole. Some examples include North Canada, Alaska, Siberia, North Scandinavia, the Himalayas, and coastal Antarctica. General characteristics of the tundra are temperature. In the winter, the temperatures can get to negative 34 degrees Celsius, and in the summer, negative 3 Celsius to 12 Celsius. The tundra also gets an annual amount of rain from 15 to 25 centimeters, and they only have low shrubs due to permafrost, as well as slow decomposition.
The plant organisms that we chose were the bear berry, the caribou moss, the Arctic moss, cotton, the Arctic willow, the Labrador tea. Most of these organisms are found in the Arctic part of the tundra, but you also can find some in the Alpine.
The animals we chose were the snow bunting, which is a herbivore, an Arctic fox, which is a carnivore, an Arctic bumblebee, which is a herbivore, a caribou, which is also an herbivore, Arctic hare, which is also an herbivore, and then lastly a polar bear, which is a carnivore. The plant endangered species we chose was the Aleutian wormwood. Because of rising human and caribou populations, the population is declining. Both of these mammals overly collect and destruct the plant, which is causing the massive decline in numbers.
The second organism that we chose was the polar bear. There is an increasing rate of petroleum installations and the effect of the global warming it affects the global warming in the Arctic. Due to the spills and the melting of the snow, the polar bear's habitats and prey were thrown off, causing a big decline in the populations.
This is our simple food chain. Our simple food chain is based on the Arctic biome in the tundra. First, the sun gives light to the berries in the grass, which then produce photosynthesis and give energy to the hare. The hare then gives energy to the Arctic fox, which then gives energy to the polar bear.
The complex food web has more connections, which starts with the grass, which feeds the musk ox, and the caribou, which both represent herbivorous animals. The other producer is the caribou moss, which feeds the caribou and the lemmings in this food web, and they are both herbivorous animals as well. The musk ox, caribou, and lemmings feed both the Arctic wolf and the polar bear, which shows competition between them. The polar bear also in some cases eats the Arctic wolf.
The keystone species we chose in the tundra was the lemming. Its role is to feed a big variety of consumers. Some of these organisms are the Arctic fox, snowy owl, and more.
Our ecosystem services that we chose were the glaciers and the plants living in the cold. These are both ecosystem services because they both help and do service to the community or the biome. The glaciers help the biome by storing water for later use. Once the glaciers melt, it produces water which can give nutrients to the plants and animals. The plants also are a service because they help organisms keep their nutrition by feeding them. They also can let off oxygen, which can help during the carbon cycle when they have to reuse the carbon to make oxygen.
The two economic benefits we chose were oil and gas extraction and hunting. With the oil and gas extraction, it's a big industry in the Arctic. They help provide oil and gas to other countries. Hunting is also a big benefit. They provide food to all the other countries in the world as well.
Our anthropogenic effects were air pollution and water pollution. Air pollution connects to the carbon cycle because the carbon gets combusted into the atmosphere, which causes and makes CO2, which can also affect global warming. Water pollution also relates to the carbon cycle because the carbon from the oil and petroleum gets let off into the water on accident, which contaminates the water, making it unsafe for organisms to drink and for human use.